Hey guys, Benny Richard here in the shop. So you guys remember this from the last video, I think it was, right? The steady rest, the slides, the buttons on here. Well, those came out great. But I really kind of forgot about this completely. All I had were some just regular hex head bolts that mounted this to the lathe. So I really didn't have anything proper to get this mounted. So there are T-slots on each side of the compound for two of these to mount, one on each side. So I go, gosh, I really need to do something about that. So I ended up having, let me set this down. So I ended up having a couple studs. And this is, you got to remember, most of the things on this lathe are metric slots and fasteners and stuff. So I ended up having two 7/16 studs, and those are perfect for mounting that rest on the lathe. And the slots actually, the base of the T slot was, so this fits in the top part of the T slot just fine. The base for 5/8 gave me enough clearance for a nice sliding fit of a square in the base of the T slot. So I had some square stock, 5/8 square stock. So I made 4 square nuts, threaded at 7/16 14 course. 7/16 is like 11 millimeters. I wrote that down even. And the top part is 7/16 20 fine threads. So all I had to do is, I had to make up 2 studs. So I did that. So I made two more studs. I made 4 of these nuts, and then I made I had some nice brass hex stock. So I made some really nice captured, well, not captured, but capped off nuts. So there's plenty of room for the nut to make it tight without bottoming out, so it's closed on top. So those came out pretty nice. So I made 4 of those. I didn't film it. I didn't feel like doing filming yesterday. I just wanted to get this done. Well, in the process, other things happened. So I wanted to just, on these 14, so I turned these all at once on the lathe. So I cut the 20 thread on the lathe, and then I came over and I cut the 14 without taking the piece out or cutting it off. But I only cut it down so it was real close to the right size. Then I was just going to, after I parted it off, I was going to just run a die on there. Well, my 7/16 die, right here. Let me knock things over. There's my die wrench. I'll have to show you my set of these. These are Greenfield. They're real old. I have 2 sets, one smaller, one larger, one with a number 6 handle and one with a number 7 tap handle. Greenfield. They are passed down from my grandfather, actually. But most of the dies and stuff are pretty good shape still, and I do use them on occasion. But anyway, the die goes in there, little key. But there's a piece that goes below it here that's like a guide. Well, that piece for the 7/16 is missing. All the rest of my dies have one, but this 7/16 one is missing. So, well, I better make one of those, right? So, I did. I made the piece that goes in the base here. So I need to put, you can see how it has a hole in the middle. This is the die, and there's 4 holes around the edge to allow the chips to clear out. Well, if you use just the die, the chips will kind of impact and they don't have a place to go. So the base piece has 4 of those holes. So I got it in the mill already. I drilled the center hole, of course, on the lathe, and I already milled a little keyway and stuff in there. But I need to drill those 4 holes around this periphery. So I go, that's a perfect little video for demonstrating the bolt circle feature of my mill, of the DRO on the mill. I don't think I've shown that feature yet. I'm trying to do all the features, so here's a project that has the bolt circle thing. I'm going to turn the camera around. I'm going to show you on a piece of paper a little quick sketch, and we'll run through setting that bolt circle up. It's pretty simple, and then we'll get the holes drilled, and that part will be done, and I'll be able to get my the studs and everything together on those two rests, and they'll fit on the lathe. And I'll get them mounted on there, and I'll show you how they're mounted up. Okay, let me turn the camera on. Okay, you can see I have the instruction manual out, and things all sitting here in the way. Anyway, those nuts, I'll just set them out of the way. So here's a quick sketch of what I'm talking about. Let me see if I can get that in there. So we already have the center hole right there, and that's 7/16. That's a little over 11 millimeters. Then we're going to put 4 holes around the periphery and the center. So those 4 holes sit on a circle, the center of them, and that's called the bolt circle. It's like making a flange or something, except in this case we're just want some holes, right? You know, in a circular pattern, evenly spaced, 4 holes. Well, that diameter around through the center points of those 4 circles, 4 holes, is 0.631. And the diameter, so 6.631, that's about 16 millimeters, and the diameter of the holes we're going to put in are going to be 5/16. That's 0.3125, and that's just under 8 millimeters, 7.9 millimeters. So that's what we're going to do. And so we're going to tell the DRO to position us for those 4 holes around the periphery. What I'm going to do is actually, I'm going to drill those 4 holes first, because these 4 holes will overlap into the center hole. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill the 4 holes smaller first, about just under a quarter. It's just under a quarter of an inch. And then I'm going to take a 5/16 end mill and run them through there. So we're going to have to go around the circle twice, drill the holes, and then we're going to run the end mill through there, cutting them to size and removing a little portion, little crescent out into the center of the hole. You can see how you can see how the die is, how those 4 holes cut out into the center. It'll be I'm going to make them a little bigger than these just to have a little extra clearance. So, anyway, that's what we're going to do. Let me turn the camera again, and we'll set the DRO. I've already positioned the mill over the center of the bore of the hole in the piece. And I have a center drill in there right now. And then DRO is zeroed out on the center. I have it in incremental mode. That way I don't lose my absolute 0 point. But I could do it in absolute, it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to push the bolt circle function key, and center is already 0, so I don't have to re-zero anything, and I'll just hit enter. Now it wants to know the diameter, and it's going to be 0.631. Enter. Number of holes is 4, so 4 is enter. Then it's going to ask me for the starting angle. Now, I've done this a few times before, and their instructions are a little bit lacking in this area. But you can set your starting angle. What position do you want to start? Well, starting angle is off to the right here is 0. How they measure this, and then clockwise is a negative angle, counterclockwise is a positive angle. I could start it over here if I wanted to, or over here. I can put in any angle I want. But this is just 4 holes, and let me check something. So I just realized something. Since I have the keyway in there, that's why I said let me check something. I had the keyway in there already, as you can see here, like the keyway here. Well, those keyway, those holes are 45 degrees off at an angle, right? So I made sure my piece here, keyway, is set in line. So, like so, with the axis of the mill. So now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start my hole right here, over here at 45 degrees. We'll do the first hole. Then we'll go over here to this hole, that hole, boom. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll go around in a clockwise direction. So, we'll go to bolt circle. That center is already there. Diameter is 631. Well, you put in 631, but it changes it for some reason. Who knows? Anyway, the holes are 4. My starting angle is going to be 45 degrees. Okay, and then if you since 0 is here, this is 45, and if you go, I want to end back here, it's 360 degrees again, because I'm going to go, those 4 holes are going to be divided through 360 degrees. But this is 0, so that's 360 plus 45. So that's what, 405, 45. Can't think this morning here. 405, yeah, 405 degrees. So my starting angle is 45. My end angle, I had put in 405. I put it in, but it changed it to 45. So it knows it knows about the 0 point. So I'm going to end up back at 45 because these are like absolute numbers. Okay, see, you learn something every time. I've done this, I don't know, 4 or 5 times, but I always did the 0 at 360, made it easy, and it works out right. So, but anyway, that's 45. I understand is 0. See, you learn something new. Enter. And then it says, okay, that's where hole number 1 is. Oh, it even came out identical, 2228. So that's where the first hole is going to be. I am going to center drill each one, and then I'm going to put a smaller hole in there, about 2/16 or so, and then I'm going to take the end mill and bore it through. Okay. All right, we're ready to go there. We're going to go to position number 1. I move the camera back a little bit, it's kind of out of the way, but you can kind of get a little different picture of things here. Of course, I went way past here, my number. Right. There, hole number 1. And we'll go to 2. I'm going to leave the mill run there. It might be a little noisy, but a little quicker. Okay, there's a. See where the holes are going to be. See if we can drill this here. This drill might be a little big, but we'll find out. It'll be okay. Make sure it's tighter. See, I just go right from 4, and then I'll just go right back to number 1 again. I made a new camera mount, a piece of that Delrin James Deadman sent me, and mounted my phone on top of it. Magnetic, real old magnetic base, but works good enough for this. Moving over to hole number 4. Just gotta keep it in the cut. Well, that looks really good. Really good. All right, I think we're done there. That came out nice. We just got some birds there to, you know. Here, I'll hold it up close there. And we'll line those keys up. And look at that. Perfect alignment. Even with the key. That should work really good. Let's see, where's the die handle? Drop that stuff right, drop it right in there. Oh yeah, baby. Yeah, there's that. That's that spacer piece right there. If you're looking from the bottom, it also helps in aligning your work that you're going to thread, and the die is on this side. Perfect alignment. Okay, this is for razor. Perfect. I think you made a comment. Well, that's perfect. Anyway. You like it when a plan comes together. Okay, let me we'll get this thing rigged up, and I'll put the follow rest on the lathe and show you how that all came out. So here's set up with these two rests on here, with the studs and the fancy brass nuts. Looks pretty good. Let me see if I can get it a little bit. Let's see. Here you go, bringing it a little bit closer. You can see that. There's the setup. One on each side. And that nut even clears down there, of course. It clears the compound. But come out really good. They're going to work out just fine. Pretty happy with that. I'll probably hit these little, I don't know if you call them shoes there on the rest. I'll probably hit them with a rat tail file and just give them a little dishing. That's the setup. Okay, guys, thanks a lot. Thanks for watching. Thanks to everybody for subscribing. I do appreciate it.